Did you ever wonder? I do. Did you ever wonder why the sun always rises, but the stars never fall? Why dry land is never satisfied by water? And why fire never says enough?
Today on Bible Wonders, I wonder if you would wonder with me about the word disciple and what would the word disciple be in Hebrew? Jesus is translated in Greek as to what the word disciple is, which I've always heard was an enthusiastic learner from the word that's used there in Greek. But interestingly, the word is not in the Septuagint anywhere, so it's one of those that we have to just wonder about, like what could Jesus have been thinking about, since we know he spoke Hebrew and clearly he thought in Hebrew, in my opinion. So I was thinking about that, and I was actually trying to see in my own mind what the word might look like, because I knew that a disciple would clearly, if it was an enthusiastic learner, what would that look like in Hebrew? So knowing that each Hebrew letter is a picture of something, I began to put together a picture of what I thought a disciple would be based on the Hebrew letters. And so the first letter, as I put this picture down, was clearly a disciple in his own way, as somebody that understands that Jesus is Lord, and that came from the Father. So there's a letter in Hebrew called a vav, which means that something came down from heaven. And so I thought, well, clearly disciples came down from heaven, but then the next clear, big, huge thing about disciples is that they learn, that they also love. And beautifully, in the Hebrew language, there's a letter that means both those things, and it's called a lamed, which also is the heart, which is perfect for the whole thing. So love, learn, heart, that came down from heaven. And then the other thing I thought that disciples would do was clearly follow Jesus, but moreover, that they would serve. In other words, do what Jesus told them to do. And that letter in Hebrew is a dalet. So by putting those letters together, I ended up with this vav, lamed, dalet, and I looked up the word in Hebrew to see what the word might mean, and you know what it means? Child. Not surprising. I thought, oh, isn't that fascinating how there's a huge relationship between the concept of what a disciple would be and what a child would be. Because children, clearly, they're from heaven. Clearly, they love to learn. They're always, what does that mean? And why does that happen? And they love to learn, naturally. Actually, when you think about the title of this show, they actually love to wonder. The children do. They love the wonder of Christmas. They love to wonder about things. I mean, when they see it for the first time, that wonder in their eyes, yeah, that's what disciples are. And then, clearly, they love to love. Like, they love to climb up in your lap. They love to spend time with you. You can see John the disciple leaning up against Jesus' heart. I mean, that was something that he would love to love. And then what? Disciples do what they're told, right? If you love me, you'll obey my commandments. And so, naturally, that would be the dalet. And then you get this idea of how would that sound? Well, it sounds like VALAD. Like if you were to say the word in Hebrew, you would say VALAD. Well, as soon as I saw that, I thought, well, isn't that an amazing thing? Because I have a good friend, Sam Main, who does Masculine Journey with me, and we do these boot camps, and he once described the man that was trying to get into the waters that would be stirred, that Jesus asked, do you want to get well? Well, the way that man is described was an invalid, or somebody that was invalid. And Satan goes about making us feel invalid. I mean, just by putting these labels on us like fool or broken or a disappointment, alcoholic, whatever label it is that you've put on yourself, it makes you invalid. Well, isn't it a beautiful thing that a child is valid? And to become a disciple, to become a lover of Jesus, is to become valid, not invalid. Something to wonder about today on Bible Wonders.
Did you ever wonder? I do.